Hey there, I'm Lucas Bond with the Missouri Department of Conservation, and today on Habitat Hints, we're going to be talking about bush honeysuckle, why it's invasive, why it's a nasty plant, and how you can get rid of it. We're going to talk with Andy Carmack, and he's going to tell us all we need to know about getting rid of this nasty invasive species. All right, so bush honeysuckle is what we're chatting about today, Andy. So tell us, why is this a nasty invasive species? You see these berries, they almost looks like a holly like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so bush honeysuckle is native to China. It's not native, and it is maybe one of the worst exotic invasive species to hit urban areas. And why it colonizes urban areas is because people planted this from nursery stock in the 60s and 70s, and now if you look at these beautiful plant, these birds, they eat these berries. They're really juicy. You can see that's nutritious to the birds, but you can see those seeds in there. These birds eat the seeds, and then they perch on the trees, and then they deposit the seeds. And what you get is an understory that is totally dominated by bush or shrub honeysuckle. So that's how it disperses. It is an incredibly aggressive plant. You can see all of these berries are potential honeysuckle shrubs, so bush honeysuckle. So each one of these berries represents a compounding problem here in the urban area. So this is what we don't want in our areas, and it's outcompetes all of our native shrubs. So in the urban areas, if you have this, we highly encourage, the Department of Conservation highly encourages you to get rid of it. Now, there are multiple ways that you can get rid of this. The best way, once you get plants like this, so this plant here, it gets up to 15 feet tall. So it can get pretty tall and pretty big. So up to like 3 to 5 inches DBH. Wow. So if these plants get like this size or bigger, my best recommendation is to cut them down at the base and treat the stump with a product called Tordon RTU. That's ready to use. And what that does is it's a herbicide that will inhibit growth. So once you cut it down, that herbicide takes in the root system and it will never resprout. So that's what you're doing. I see oftentimes in urban areas that people see this and they have it and they don't like it and they cut it down and they don't treat the stump. What you've done is you've just set back succession, because it's going to resprout from that stem again. If you don't want to cut it down, and it, like I said, it comes in all different varieties and sizes. If it's smaller than this, a fall application, here it is October. This is the prime time that once all of the other shrub species have gone dormant. If you, in the background you can see here, this is dogwood. So dogwood still has its leaves on it, so we're not quite time to start spraying the honeysuckle. But once all the other native shrubs and plants have gone dormant, typically in Missouri about October 15th-ish would be time that you could spray this with Roundup. A foliar application of bush honeysuckle with Roundup, or glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup. That's a super easy way to do it. And I get asked, well, how will I know? Well, it'll be the only green thing left in the understory at that time. So if you see nothing but green and just all of the same plant, it's time to spray foliar with glyphosate.
When you spray it, do you spray just the plant, or do you spray the roots? Do you spray everything, or how's that work?
So bush honeysuckle foliar is, you're going to have to get it on the plant itself. So glyphosate is a contact herbicide, so you want to spray the plant. This plant would be too big to be spraying with Roundup. This would be a cut stump treatment like what we had talked about before. If they're smaller, shorter plants, like we have some over here that would be ideal. Yeah. Anything like this size here. You can see the lovely berries on this. This would be a great plant. This is also bush honeysuckle. All of these would be so much easier to do and get foliar, because if you were to cut stump, this stem here is less than the size of a pencil. That's not going to be a really good use and application of herbicide, when this plant would uptake glyphosate much more readily. Yeah. So if you want to learn more about how to control this bush honeysuckle, I did a seminar series with Deep Roots. Go to www.deeproots.org, and they have a whole series on how to control bush honeysuckle.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Andy. Also, I'm going to echo what he said. You can learn more about bush honeysuckle and this invasive species on our website at mdc.mo.gov. It'll tell you a little bit more about the importance of why you should get rid of it and how you can get rid of it. Or, like he said, go on to the deeproots.org, deeproots.org, and you can learn more information about how you can get rid of it in that seminar. Thanks for tuning in. You all have a great rest of the day.